The new Sonic the Hedgehog movie has been out for quite a while, so you know what I did? I went back to watch it to see if it was still good and if my thoughts had changed whatsoever. And guess what? It turned out even better than I remembered. This movie managed to somehow subvert expectations and be a genuinely great movie on its own. And I've got many reasons as to believe that this is such a good movie, so let's talk all about it. The biggest thing that's always stuck out to me about this movie is the writing of the characters, and specifically Sonic and Dr. Robotnik, the two main cast members. With Sonic, they gave him this new direction-ish. They made him more childlike to make him more of a relatable character towards children, and I think that's an excellent move to go with. You want to get new fans of the series on board, so what do? Give this super awesome hero with still relatable issues to you. But he isn't just some little kid, he's still cool and cocky and edgy, and he's still this sort of role model towards these kids as well. My favourite aspect of Sonic's personality is just how caring he is and how much he looks up to people. He cares about the animals of this world, he cares about the humans, he looks up to these people, they're like his role models, he takes inspiration from them all. So like when he comes out and does the floss, while I do think it is cringy, it at least is in line with the character in the movie, and that's excellent. It's not just there for a dumb meme. It has relatability, it makes sense to the character, so it doesn't feel super out of place. So Sonic's respect towards everybody is something that I feel like the games did do, but this game pulls it up to a whole new level. I love it. I think that is the best character trait Sonic could have ever had, and they'd better stick it for the second movie. The second good character was Dr. Robotnik, obviously played by Jim Carrey. When I first saw the movie, I thought he was a pretty good character. I think he was well acted, I think he had some funny lines, and overall he was just entertaining on screen. But when I watched the movie again, there's so many quotable moments from him. I love it, and he seemed way better than he was the first time I watched the movie. Like, he's definitely my favourite Dr. Eggman. I know that's probably the most controversial thing ever, I'm sorry. I love how much better he thinks he is than everybody else. I love his stupid lines, the way he talks, his attitude, the way he treats Agent Stone. It's so funny. It's funny, but it's still serious in a way. Like, you could take him seriously, even when he's Jim Carrey. And I think the dynamic between him and Sonic could have been really well if they had more screen time together, which is sadly one of my gripes of the movie itself. While they did focus on Sonic and Robotnik really well, like they were the stars of the movie, they didn't get too much screen time together, but I'm sure the second movie will fix that. Another thing I really enjoyed about the movie were the action scenes. My biggest worry coming into this movie was that the CGI was going to be really constrained by its budget, and there wouldn't be much, it'd be mostly humans talking to each other. But to my surprise, there's plenty of action scenes, and the film is paced really well. They even introduced this slow time concept, flash time, and it's so cool. Sonic just goes into slow motion, and the whole world around him is just slowed down in time, and he can do whatever the hell he wants within that time span. And they do that multiple times, so they actually introduce the concept, and then they bring it back for like the climactic finale. It's really cool. Love it. Especially with their music choices as well. I feel like they're actually pretty good with that, so props to you, Sonic movie, props to you. And then you've got this really cool lore. Sonic being looked after by a Longclaw, living on green hills, and we've got stuff that does pay tribute to the games, but you've also got this brand new stuff that they can set up in this own universe. I love that. It's interesting. They can expand upon it whenever they want to. And while we didn't get too much of it in this movie, I think it was a great way to hook viewers into the movie, even if you're an old fan like me, because it's a genuinely interesting concept of Sonic being taken after and people wanting to go after his speed. That's really cool. Like, they could have easily just started the movie where it's Sonic and Robotnik and they're on the same planet, and that's just how Sonic's always been. But instead, Robotnik is from Earth and then Sonic is from his world, and they actually end up meeting each other in this movie. It's an origin story. I think that's really sick. The movie is not perfect though. Obviously, it's Sonic the Hedgehog. It's a live action video game movie. That's never gonna play out perfectly. So there are quite a few flaws in the movie I noticed while watching it. Number one, There's some editing mistakes that I kind of wish they ironed out from the trailers. One that comes to mind specifically is when Agent Stone is talking to the soldiers or whoever they were, and there's some cut mistakes where one of their heads is turned and then it unturns and it turns and unturns. I know it's a really specific example, but the movie has more stuff like that I feel like they could have cleaned up a bit. Secondly, like I said earlier, the lore stuff I feel like they didn't expand upon enough, but at the same time I do understand that they don't want to really alienate their audience so early on. They want to just develop a really good family comedy movie with Sonic, so it's totally understandable. It makes sense to me. I think plot-wise, the biggest bummer for me was the midway point where Sonic just starts acting like a bit of an ass towards Tom the cop. It was this argument about Tom leaving Green Hills because he wants to do bigger and better things and save more people, help more people, and that's really respectable, but Sonic just is not having it. Sonic's like, you are a jerk, you're leaving the people you love behind, how could you do this? And although it did only last a few minutes, thank God that didn't take up the whole movie. I would have been really pissed off if it did. I still feel like it's a blemish on an otherwise really great character dynamic of Tom and Sonic. But it does feel like it came a bit out of nowhere. I can see where they were coming from, where Sonic is a really respectful person. He cares for these small communities and all that, and he doesn't want Tom to leave. I get it. I just feel like they could have built that up a bit more so that when it came out, it just wasn't completely random. And then my last critique, and it isn't a super bad critique, I feel like the music could have been a bit more top tier. Sonic is obviously a franchise known for its fantastic movie, and it would have been really cool to like add some really top tier tracks into this movie. They added a Sonic Mania track, and they did have a little Green Hill rendition, but I feel like maybe they could have done a bit more. Maybe could have gotten a pre-existing composer, but I also do get that a movie is a different environment from a game, so they just wanted to stick with what was familiar. I understand. I just feel like for the next movie, maybe have more established music tracks that's more in line with the games. But you know what really makes this movie such a cinematic marvel? Seriously, you know what does it? It's the fact that so much could have went wrong with this movie. It is a live action video game movie on Sonic the Hedgehog. That is a recipe for absolute disaster. And guess what? They fucking did it. They made it good. Not only did they make it good, they made it one of the best video game movies ever made. I would argue the best video game movie ever made. And they did that with such style. They did it with such excellence. Like, this is a genuinely great movie. It's not top tier, it's not 10 out of 10. I'd probably give it like a 6 or 7 out of 10 on its own. But in the world of video game movies, oh, it is easily one of the best ones, especially, in my opinion, when you compare it to Detective Pikachu and the way that handled its characters and its story, where the characters felt completely fake and forced, as if they just shoved dialogue from the games into the movie, and it felt so off and wrong. This movie doesn't do that. The characters feel real, relatable, and the story feels natural and cohesive. So I respect just how daring the movie was. I respect how much could have went wrong and didn't. They went for it. It didn't feel like a cheap cash grab. It felt like a genuine movie they wanted to make with people who really cared about Sonic. They just wanted to make something really cool for everyone to enjoy. And guess what? It's made Sonic more relevant than ever. People are now coming to watch this movie and they're interested in the franchise. That is the best. That is a sign of a fantastic movie right there. Excellent sign. That is what I love to see. I love Sonic being promoted. I love that people are getting into the franchise. And I hope this is the start of bigger and better things. And that it shows Sega that there is investment in this franchise. People do care about Sonic the Hedgehog. Now invest in it yourself, Sega. Make more stuff. Make Sonic more relevant. Make things that everyone can like. Make good games. Do all this stuff. And Sonic will be back. He will be absolutely back. Do not waste this opportunity. Please, do not waste it. Because, holy shit, what a great movie. And that is what makes this movie so great. The impact it's had on the franchise, and it's showing just how much people care for Sonic. Excellent. The fact that it's the best video game movie ever made. That is excellent. Sonic the Hedgehog, the Laughingstock, made the best video game movie of all time. Just take a step back and think about that for a moment and its significance. Anyways, that's my thoughts on the Sonic the Hedgehog movie and why I think it's so phenomenal. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Let me know. I'm all for hearing and I'm all for discussions. But with all that said, thank you all for watching and I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace out, my dudes.